Unseen. Mm. Between sessions, therapists are people too. We've got ideas, projects, and stories worth sharing. This is where we do that. Welcome to For Therapy by Therapists. And our very first guest is a dear friend of mine, Mr. Calvin Anderson. How are you?
Hi, friend. I'm good.
Hey, Pookie, how you doing?
Hey, no, I'm good. How you doing? How are you, Kim? And it's about time you've done this. It's been a minute.
Okay, so what we're not going to do is bully me. Um, so Cal is a fantastic human being. He's a therapist, but he's also the host of the Check In With podcast. And I'm going to get him to do his intro because he has got the whole like podcast voice thing
Wow.
absolutely down. Ready? Okay, are you ready? Do the
I'm
thing.
ready. So, the Check In With podcast is a podcast solely dedicated to people within the mental health sector, mainly for therapists, for me personally, but there are doctors and psychologists and everyone that is occupying that space currently. The reason why I chose to make this podcast is because I feel like therapists are the hidden heroes in the background that don't get the limelight, so to speak. So I did the podcast to not only humanize us as people and human beings, but also to amplify our voices because, yeah, there's a lot of information that we carry. And for me, the therapist that I've had the pleasure of knowing, such as the individual in this podcast right now, are just gems and amazing people. So yeah, the Checking With podcast is the hub, soon to be a directory. I feel like just to not only highlight therapist voices, but to just amplify and say, hey, this is the work that they do. So yeah, that's my reason.
Thank you for such a beautiful introduction. No, I think one of the reasons why we get along is because obviously we have similar ideas. So obviously this is about humanizing therapists and amplifying their voices as well, but we also aren't like competitive in any nature. If anything, we scream at each other when we're not doing
100%.
the thing that we said that we're going to do.
Yep.
Me personally, I'm more of a gentler of the two of us. Calvin really likes to bully, but I'm the more
It's not
softer
true.
of the duo.
There's not true. It's not true. That's all I'm going to say. So Kim can have that, but it's not true. It's not true.
Okay, well, there's nothing to prove that. Moving forward, so I have been on Calvin's podcast, and I've also had the pleasure of interviewing him for his final season. Now, how many seasons are you currently on?
So season 2 ends end of September, beginning of October, and then season 3 comes out October through till December, I would say. But yeah. So I've
Okay,
ultimately done 4 seasons altogether, but we're on season 2 now.
yeah, so he's saying it really casually, but he's actually a massive busy bee. I don't know how many seasons in theory
Yeah.
would you say that you've already covered, even though what's only available is essentially season two,
Probably
up to
six,
season two.
probably six, seven.
Mm.
Yeah, six, seven.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
that's
now
like
how
what?
do you juggle that with also working as a therapist?
Um, it's just intentionality, to be honest. If it's an hour, 50 minutes, just, yeah, just put it in the calendar. Once it's in the calendar, I'm good.
Mm.
Once I can see it and it's tangible and I'm like, okay, cool, this is the schedule for today. My mind just said that this is what we're going to do. And that's it. And then once I finish the episode, I edit straight away, send it, get the feedback, upload it, done. I don't waste any time.
Now he's a very productive person. Now I've asked you this question before, but I also asked you when I saw you in person, and I'm sure at this point now, third time over, and maybe the answer's changed.
Hmm.
But thus far, and
Yeah.
whether the episode is out or not, who would you say thus far has been maybe your favorite guest?
Kim, you can't keep
And
it.
no, you don't have to say me.
You can't keep.
Sorry, I'm done.
You can't keep doing this to say who's the favorite. I can't
Okay,
you?
who is okay, change favorite. Let's skip to who was your most surprising guest
Oh, Mick Cooper.
in terms of the conversation that you had, but also even being able to get them. Okay, cool.
That's ultimately the one who I didn't even think I could get or would have time for me because he's a busy guy. So yeah, that was most surprising. And then just meeting him, he was just so cool. Um, and down to earth. His episode comes out. He ends season 2, by the way, and it's a phenomenal
Mhm.
episode. So yeah, he was the one I was surprised to receive um a message from. And then since him, everyone else that I've ever wanted is just literally just flying in different ways. So grateful.
You're so humble, aren't you?
Try to be. Try to be.
Boring. Humility's for no one. After. I promise I'll stop being myself, I swear.
Yeah, thank you. No, be yourself. You can be you. So what makes you you, Kim?
Oh, he's giving me permission to take up space.
Of
How
course.
therapist of you.
Oh,
Okay, now. Now, for the questions portion, which is essentially the main body of this, right? Because I want to poke around in your head,
yep.
and let's dilly dally. So, first question is, what is
Dilly
one thing that
dally.
you miss about training slash our training institution? Obviously, in England,
Mm,
we go to uni, but I've found that from speaking to like therapists who are in America,
yeah.
the process is different, but that's for a different day. But yeah, what's the one thing that you miss about training?
And I think it's just that, Kim, like training in an actual institute, like getting up in the morning, having your different lecturers that have the different styles of teaching, having your, um, what do you call them? Com compadres on the course with you, learning
Cohort.
everyone's cohort, sorry. Um,
Mm,
going into lecture halls, sitting at a desk, getting resources and materials, and having to go and buy the big Sage textbook that's about this thick.
mm, mm.
Assignments, placement hours, all of those things. Not to say that now being in the field it isn't good. It's just when it was the training, it was kind of there's an excitement that came with it. Yes, the work
Mhm.
is exciting, but I don't know, just something about just the beginning of something and embarking on something that you never done before, is always tangible and always good. I think I just miss like having the cohort and having like lectures to go to and having like PPD and stuff and just the new things that would come up on a daily basis and how people change from year 1 to the last year and being one of the only males left on the course, me and another gentleman called
Mm.
Dave Pender. So yeah, just all those different dynamics and I guess learning about yourself mainly through obviously your own personal therapy. But yeah, I miss that. I just miss the growth. Like every day there was something. Every day there was just a new thing to take in and learn and you know, you had to do it. Not to say that we were not meant to do it now, but there was just that intentionality that came with it. So that's what I miss.
That is, no one on this call screen out can say they missed lectures, but you know what? Only you. But to be fair though, the cohort thing I think is massive because I'm like, the minute you leave,
Oh,
especially if you
this
go into private practice and you don't work like in like the NHS or some kind of institution,
yeah,
it feels like you're by yourself.
by yourself, which is crazy. It's crazy that we're in a field that we bring like families or individuals back to wholesomeness, but us, we're like left in this is a visual like left in like the darkest place in the building, like some next cupboard, just chilling. Even though that's not the case, but yeah, it can get lonely. And I guess if you're carrying other people's emotions on a daily basis, if you have 10 clients a day, and imagine doing that from Monday to Friday, and you only have the weekend
Mm.
off, and then you got to give yourself to your family and whoever. I can understand the loneliness in that part. But in terms of the collaboration and stuff, that should definitely be something that we should continue to scream about and keep coming about. And that's another reason why I started the podcast to bring people together and, you know, have that collaboration.
No pending. And also we're doing God's work, we're doing God's work.
Yes.
Now obviously so Calvin doesn't appear anywhere. So even though he has the podcast, I would say that literally if you search for him, you cannot find him. And I've been trying to softly, gently, warmly tell him that he needs to put his face to things.
Yeah.
Because even when it came to the last episode of your podcast, I was like, why doesn't anybody know anything about you, sir? Like, what are you hiding from? Why are you hiding, Cal? What's going on?
Are you actually asking me? You joking?
No,
Yeah.
legit. Why are you hiding? What's going on?
I'm not
You're making
hiding.
space for everybody, but you're in the cupboard.
Do you know what? I've always been the person who likes to be like in the back. So whatever I do, yes, that can be in the forefront and does whatever it needs to do. But me, I just be at the
Hmm.
back and everyone's good. That's cool. But I know I can't. I know that I can't remain in the back forever. To be honest, I'm not in the. I'm moving forward to the front from the back, slowly but surely, slowly but surely. But
Yeah, you're taking
yeah,
a little time, huh? Yeah, you.
yeah. Do you know what I don't really like? No, that I don't really like because that's not true. Like the spotlight or like being like the attention of stuff. I'm not really. I'm not really about that. But if it's a work related, then of course. But me personally, I just like to just yeah. Let me just catch a seat behind there and I'm good. But yes, I am
You,
Shay.
sir, are a facilitator. You're a facilitator at heart.
That's what it's about, man. I don't like to take the credit for things. Like if someone's life has changed, that's it. That's it. I don't like to take like I done what's like have a big sign up saying, yeah, I done this. Nah, I just like to do what I need to do. It changes someone's life or however it does, impacts them in a positive way. And once if I'm told that, cool, if I can see it, cool, that's it. No one needs to even ever know that I had a hand in it. That's just not me. So hey,
I can appreciate that. However, when it comes to pointing people in the direction of you, that's very hard when you don't exist anywhere. So
I'm on counseling directory.
I'm sorry, a little bit louder. I missed that.
I'm on counseling directory. There.
Thank you. Thank you. See what I did there? See what I did there? He loves me really. So now my question is though, what is your therapist superpower in your opinion?
Therapist superpower, in my opinion. Oh, this is definitely one to bring people to a state of calmness within like the first encounter with me.
Oh, okay. Expand a little.
Just in terms of, and this is even before I became a therapist, just meeting people in a whatever setting it was and them just feeling calm enough to just speak about anything and everything and leaving that way saying, you know what, I felt so heavy beforehand, but now I actually feel like at peace or calm or um in a place that I wasn't in before. So I think that is definitely my superpower to allow people to reach a place of calmness and give them the space to do that outside of the therapy room and in the therapy room too. So yeah.
Okay, so you say that actually your general strength crosses both paths, right? It's not just your ability to facilitate and hold people in the spaces that we naturally create, but actually that follows you around everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm a calm guy. I try to be. No, I am a calm
No, you
guy.
know, all jokes aside, you are. No, you are. You actually do have a genuinely, like, you're quite, is somber the word? I don't know, but
Could
you are
be.
quite settling.
That's the word. Settling. Yeah. I think that comes
Yeah,
with
because I feel like I'm hyperactive when in comparison to you, but I can say that I'm
you
not. But
definitely
you
are
are
hyper.
very like but you definitely are like on a even like very soothing keel all the time. Well, probably not all the time, but from my actual genuine experience of you,
All the
most
time.
of the time.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
chill.
borderline.
I'm chill, Kim. Like I can't if I try to be hyperactive or something, you would be able to see that it's a lie. You would blatantly say, you're just out of pocket right now. So what the hell are you doing? Like if I tried to do that, it
Mm.
would just look so like an act that someone have to be like, what is he actually doing? This doesn't even match his whole persona. So I definitely am chill. I don't think I used to be chill growing up. Um, I think I was very hyper, and then life happens, as you know. And then I think those
Mm.
events in my life just changed me to have more peace and be more chill with things. So yeah,
No, true. But you are also very warm. Like even though you are quite, like I said, a somber person, I would say that presence-wise,
yeah.
like you're warm, which I think naturally, like you said, probably makes it easier for people to verbally just diarrhea things at you.
Thanks.
Just scooping up that shit. I'm not guess on. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, question: do you think a therapist should go to therapy before slash during working as a therapist?
Well, me and you had this conversation a couple times, and
Mm-hmm.
the answer to that is 100% yes.
Mm,
100% yes, because you're going into a field whereby every day, whether it be in person or online or over the phone, where someone is coming to you to guide them through life's many hilltops and valleys. Now, if you yourself have had a life where things have happened and you haven't healed from, the person who you're talking to, namely a client, may say something
mm,
that is so similar to what you've been through, which will then
mm,
bring the memories and the stuff to the surface, which obviously, how then would you be able to operate if you haven't had the training or haven't dealt with it by having your own personal therapy? So I would say it is crucial to have therapy whilst you're training because you want to know exactly how it feels to be a client. Because when you do have clients, it just builds your empathy level and builds your lens to a point where you know exactly how they're feeling. It could be the first session and you can see how someone is nervous to come and sit to you. You can be like, I know how that feels. You can even bring that into the room. And ultimately, you need to heal because you never really thought about having therapy before. You never had therapy before. So deal with your stuff so you can gain an understanding and not necessarily embrace it, even though that's the word I want to use, but come to a place of acknowledgement where it doesn't affect you in a way where if it's mentioned, you're
mm.
triggered easily. And then you start to talk about it in your sessions with your client because you're not meant to do that at all. Um, so it's a crucial. I think it's so important to learn. Sorry, not even to learn, to be in the very thing that you're going to do. Why not? Like you deserve to heal, I think, as a person. Everyone's
Mhm.
gone through something. If someone's come in and said, "Oh, I've never been through anything," I'd be like, "Wow, interesting," but that's not true. So, as therapists, I would say it's crucial to be in personal therapy so you don't. And this isn't an actual thing, but the visual is you don't bleed or drown your client with your own problems.
No, for sure. But do you know what I think is mad as well, right?
Go ahead.
I don't know how your structure at uni or whatever was,
Yes.
but we obviously did like practice sessions with each other. Like we would sit,
Triads.
it was facilitated by the class and also by, yeah, like by our lecturer.
Hmm.
And we'd sit and it would be like, oh, you've got like 7 minutes on the clock and we're doing the thing.
Yeah.
And the amount of things that came up out of me, I would have been a liar
Yeah.
to say that I didn't need to go to therapy because tell me why somehow where this is just a practice session so that the other person can practice the skills.
Yeah.
And I am like bawling my eyes out. And we all went through that process.
Yeah.
And it was always after those, I'm just going to say 7 minutes because as we know, seven is my favorite number. I'd get up and be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, one, becoming a therapist, like, I feel like that training should come with a warning label because you will, in your metaphor, bleed.
Yeah.
But I just don't, like, even if you thought you had nothing going on,
Hmm.
those practice sessions alone, because also we always tried to bring something that was real so that the person had something to actually work with and they weren't having to like, like force therapeutic intervention in a space that isn't appropriate.
Yeah.
And by doing that, oh my God, we after literally anyone who sat like opposite the person who was playing therapist, we are therapists, but opposite the trainee,
Hmm.
we'd all get up and be like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Now that you're saying that, Tries are actually a very good exercise to do for trainee therapists
Mm,
because ain't no one gonna bring no fake. Uh,
mm,
it's too hard to make up a whole thing.
yeah.
Um, and I think it not only obviously builds you up, but like you said, you started to divulge and you were like, oh yeah, I definitely need to go therapy.
On Big Man, my lecturer pulled me aside after one of them and she was like, Kimberly. And obviously it was a legal requirement anyway, like
Yeah,
on our course, but
100%.
she was like, Kimberly. And I was like, losing it, losing it. I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm going because I gotta. I don't have
Yeah.
a choice because even when you think you've sorted it out,
Hmm.
like training to be a therapist really makes you, because also you're so introspective. The process is so introspective
100%.
that you just have to be like, okay, cool. But if a client brought this up
Hmm.
and I'm already thinking about my own stuff, like you said, can I hold them in that space or am I going to bleed out? And then it's also like, I can't do my job.
Exactly.
So no, obviously we know we've got, like I said, we've had this discussion before. I definitely agree that therapists should be in therapy. If nothing else, of like, oh, again, as you said, so that you know what you're doing to somebody because
Literally.
I've experienced it. It is. I always say that therapy is like it's fantastic, but it's awful. And I stand on that hill. It
Yeah.
is sometimes the most just wrenching experience. And I've had clients who love me dearly, but be like, "Can you ruin my whole day?"
Hey,
And I'd
yeah.
be like, "Yes." Like you could ruin someone's whole actual day. You know what I
100%.
mean?
100%. You could.
So our job is not for the faint of heart. But no, I agree. As you know that I think everyone should sit in therapy. As a therapist, as a facilitator, you
Hmm.
need to know what you're actually facilitating and what you're bringing people through.
100%. I agree with you.
Now, what's something that you feel like you struggled with at the beginning, like maybe as a trainee slash coming out of being a trainee and becoming fully qualified, that you now feel like you've like mastered as a therapist?
What did I struggle with as a trainee? I guess going with like my gut instinct when it came to things,
Mm,
because when you're training, you get kind of, well, yeah, you become your lecturers in a way. So
mm,
you act in the way that they taught you rather than
mm,
having that felt sense in the room. So yeah, that's the one thing
mm.
that I, that's the one thing
No, you
that,
said felt sense, and I'm like, I felt that.
so that's the one thing that I know for sure I had to let go of
Mm,
because I was just like, no, this person felt like this. And then when I had the next session with them and I asked them, they were like, yeah, but I didn't ask in the time that we were in the
mm,
session because I don't know. I guess I was just so locked in a certain framework that I was like, nah, I'm not allowed to ask this. Let me just keep it with the basic statements. Like, so how does that make you feel? And all of those,
mm,
all of those things.
mm,
So yeah, that's the one thing I definitely struggled with, like staying in a specific framework, but not reading the room essentially, or reading the client, or
mm,
hearing what the underlying things were, and just letting it kind of just be, rather than saying, you mentioned this, or I noticed that as I was talking about such and such, you started to move and you
mm.
started to, your attention or your gaze started to look above me rather than at me. Well, what's going on there? So, yeah, that was my uh, kryptonite, as they say.
It sounds like actually you did hear it. You just weren't confident in
Yes,
being and figuring out who you were as a therapist.
100%.
Like having to be, you turned up as a therapist you were trained to be,
Yeah,
and didn't, I guess, trust
trust the trainer.
that
Yeah.
what you heard from like being trained
Hmm.
was accurate. Like it's as if we're like stepping, because obviously I don't know, are you training person centered?
Yes, it was integrative, but I'd say person centered was like the main one. Okay.
One thing I think that got beaten into us was like being mindful of stepping out of the client's like frame of reference. So if we hear something, do you
Yeah,
get what I mean? And then so I get that. It's like hearing something, you're like, well, I hear it and I feel like that's a really pivotal for what you're talking about, but I can't say that.
I can't say
I
that.
have
Yeah,
to, you know what I mean? Mm.
I gotta put the barrier up for a sec. You know.
but also whilst being taught that there should be no barrier in the
Yes.
therapy room. It should be an open and equal space.
Yes. Should be.
I'm going to be a lecturer on later on in life, just so I can be like, yeah,
Of course,
you
I'll
know.
definitely
And
come.
how does that make you?
How does that make you feel?
Does it make you feel?
Those
Oh, you stop
statements.
thinking this.
No, but that's what
No, stop.
like if you asked anyone what does a therapist say or any memes, literally how does that
Mm,
make you feel would literally be the number one that comes up.
hmm. And you know, and it's not to say it's not appropriate because I feel
No, of
sometimes
course.
I'm like,
Yeah.
legit, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
But it's the voice that you hear it in. You know, when we read it, and how is that? And it's like breathy, and it's
Very
like,
breathy.
you know,
Very breathy for sure.
oh,
That's jokes.
oh, stop! I can't. I adore you. Okay, moving
Mm,
forward. So obviously you've created the Checking Med podcast, as we've
yep.
said, and that's forcing you to turn up online. And you've said that you used to being a in the back kind of person.
In the back.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like what would you say that your biggest worry is turning up online as a therapist?
I just worry. When you say that, are you talking about because I'm online as a podcaster already?
Yeah, because I would say that your, like you said, aside from being on counseling director, I would say that your therapeutic presence isn't really, you don't, I would say that if you don't know, that you don't know type of thing.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Um,
but yeah, as a podcaster, but obviously having something that you're massively building and with some solid names, but we're not going to name drop, let's name drop, I'm joking, with some really big names, which obviously naturally draw traction.
mhm.
What worries you about being on the online space?
At this present moment, nothing. I guess.
Oh, tell us how you did it.
No, do you know what it is? I think because if you actually listen, which you do, listen to the podcast
Mm,
and stuff, there's not nothing that isn't true being mentioned by these therapists that I'm talking to. Like it's all
mm-hmm,
learning. Um, I think for me, what am I worried about? I can't even tell you, Kim. I don't think there's anything that I am worried about. I'm just more. Do you know what it is? Okay, no.
and that's how therapy works. You talk, you hear yourself, you feel something,
And then
you
I say,
backtrack, you forward track,
no. Do you know what
you
it is?
shimmy to the side.
I, I don't even know. I don't know what would be worried about. I think because I'm on the space already, I'm
Mm,
just mindful of how I represent myself and whoever I'm talking to. So
mm-hmm,
just in terms of if someone hears the podcast and they're like, "Oh, cool, I want to go do work with Calvin," and then I do the work with them, and it feels as if I'm not doing a great job on the podcast I am, then I want to
mm,
make I want to make sure that if I'm putting 100% in the podcast and everything I'm saying in the podcast is of value, that my work with my clients who come to me or want to work with me due to that, I want to make sure that I'm doing the same thing also.
okay, so kind of like a fear that actually you turn up better in the podcast than you do in real life.
Yes.
Hmm, hmm, interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. But do you not feel like, as I would say, and again, maybe it's because I know you and I maybe and obviously I've seen a really positive light generally,
Mm,
but I would say that you're pretty consistent across the board.
thank
Obviously,
you.
I've never had therapy with you,
Yeah.
but w- not even if when whomever's watching this listens to your podcast,
Hmm.
they'll see that like your tone is consistent. I think the only time your tone even goes up into something I would say close to excitable is when you're doing your introduction. Outside of that, then you literally do sit back into your
So
like
okay.
natural
Yeah.
somber self. But I do get what you mean in terms of like a feeling like how you turn up online has to translate and how you turn up in therapy. But also, I think sometimes when we sit in, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like sometimes when we sit in as a therapist,
Yeah.
we the chair is a little bit different. You know what I mean?
It is. It is.
Because it's just it's not I wouldn't even say it's a mask. It's we have a job to do, and I think your brain really clicks in and really
Hmm.
locks in, and it's like you're hyper focused and really like you listen better, you focus better, you hear. It's like we hear and see everything, if you want to call it that.
Oh, for sure.
So if anything, I feel like wouldn't you be better in person?
Probably, probably. I think, do you know what it is? I think that's just like I don't know, because that just literally came to me before that. I had nothing when you asked me. So I don't know, maybe something new that I just came about because the podcast is doing so well, and like you said, there's amazing guests, and it's doing its thing. So I think for me, I just want to make sure that I'm consistent in how I am or how I've presented
Mm,
myself. Um, Even though, like you said, the chair is completely different to being on the podcast because it's enclosed and confidential, whereas the podcast is vast and broad for the world to hear. So yeah, I guess just to make sure that if I'm putting 100% into the podcast, I need to
mhm.
continue that with my therapy work as well, which I am doing. So yeah, I don't want to, just be like, oh yeah, podcast. And then when clients come, it's just like, oh, I'm doing the bare minimum, even though I know I wouldn't. But just that really.
Calvin has a fear of becoming mediocre. Noted, but you're not, so it's fine. You're
Uh,
not. But anyways, moving forward before I
Move.
stress you out. Last but not least,
Yeah.
what is a stigma that you would like to change about therapists?
That every normal conversation that we're having with you, we're not therapizing you in that moment.
One more time.
No, it's true. Like
Say it again.
every conversation that we engage in with you, whether it's new or old, we're not therapizing you. We're literally asking you a question. So if you say something
Mm,
like, "Yeah, I'm feeling this way," and we say, "Tell me more," or whatever, I'm genuinely asking you a question, and it's so
mm,
funny because I said to a good friend of mine, I said, "If I wasn't a therapist, you would have never said that, right?" And they said, "Yeah, I would
mm.
have never asked you that." And I was like, "See," I said, "We do switch it off. It's not like this thing that's just." We're, continue trying to read and, oh yeah, you got this trauma
Mm-hmm.
or that. No, we're not trying to like, we're people too, we need social stimulation.
Also, we don't want to do this all the time, by the way.
No,
Just in case you guys didn't know, we don't want to constantly be hearing everything.
yeah, we're not robots. So we're not therapizing you. We genuinely care and we just want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So if we ever ask you a question, yes, the tone might have that therapeutic thing about it. So sorry, we're just so used to certain things. And if we're looking at you intently, it's how you engage with someone. You look them in their face. I'm not going to talk to you and look left and be like, yeah, so I'm going to look directly at you. So that's one stigma I definitely would love to break, that we're not trying to therapize you. If we're asking how you're doing or how your day was, we're not trying to extract
Mm-hmm.
information. I genuinely want to know how you're doing. How are you? Like, tell me, are you good? You not good? Yeah, that's it. I mean, we should be able to ask how you are, right?
Sure.
Or no?
Literally. But also even adding to that,
Mhm.
if you don't want to tell us, by the way, we're gonna be the people that are gonna respect that boundary.
Oh, 100%,
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So if you don't want to say, if it feels like you don't want to get into it, then just be like, I don't really want to get into it.
We'll say
And we'd
cool,
be like, okay.
cool. Yeah.
We're not gonna be like, no, let's sit with those feet. No, literally, okay.
What else is there? There's one more. Oh, that we
Mm-hmm.
we sit with notebooks or no. Well, some therapists do. But I've always been told that people feel like we're in the room with a big like clipboard and like pieces of
Mm,
paper writing things down. And I know that's what they show in like shows and stuff. And some therapists actually do
mm-hmm.
that. But not all of us. So yeah, yeah. The amount of time they said, "Oh, so do you have like a big clipboard that you write your notes while the person's talking?" I'm like, no. Who does? I
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that does at this present time.
Sometimes I do, but I know which clients I have to do that with.
Right.
But also in the same breath, my notes are what you're saying so that I can keep track of what's happening here. An hour's a very long time.
Yeah. It
Okay.
is a long time.
This like it's a lot like and young people clients like, oh, can I see my notes?
Mm.
Babe, you won't understand what this is.
Hmm.
This is I don't write my thoughts. Do I? No, I wouldn't say I do. I'm like, I'm just trying to keep track of this conversation because there's a lot. We've gone to left, we've gone to right, we've gone to back,
Mm.
we've gone to Timbuktu, we've come back.
Yeah.
I can't, well, actually, no, that's a lie. I would say, I was both like, I can't keep up. That's a lie. I can. Because
You
also,
definitely
don't you
can.
think it's so weird how, like, sessions go full circle? Like, where you start at the beginning, you divert, and somehow
Come back to, yeah, full circle. Full
our
circle.
ability to full cycle is like a chef's kiss.
It is. It is. Um, there was one more.
He's trying to break every stigma. Period. Go ahead.
What's another stigma? This one's tough because there's a part of me that wants to say yes, and then the part of me wants to say not really. That the therapists are the people who have been most hurt in life, so that's why they become therapists.
Do you know what? My lecturer at uni, first day cohort, we all came in, and he was like, only traumatized people become therapists. Verbatim, that's what Richard said, and that thing stuck with me.
The thing is, maybe I can say that because obviously I know therapists like such as yourself, and obviously we've shared so many things, and I can say it is true. But then the other hand is there's people who just genuinely want to have that kind of healing
Mm,
ability innate in them,
yeah.
as well. So yeah, that's another stigma that I've kind of recently stumbled upon. So yeah, Karen, like, so you're a therapist, so that means you've been through so much in your life, and I'm like, but what if I didn't? Like, what if I just genuinely just want to be someone who
Mm.
has or creates a space for people to heal in?
It's so on par with how you function. You're like, even though I am traumatized, what if I wasn't? You're like, everybody should be welcome in this space.
Everyone should be,
That's literally you to a T.
should be. I think everyone deserves a place to, you know, really see themselves because ultimately that's what you do. You kind of see yourself in therapy. You know, there's so many things that have happened in your life that I'll give you the metaphor again. It feels like we've just been covered, layered with so many things, and we haven't had the chance to
Mm,
like really breathe. And
mhm.
everyone deserves redemption, second chance or a third chance to live a life. You know, I will never ever say, um, someone shouldn't have access to, you know, becoming their best selves because at the end of the day, we're all here at the moment, you know, living life. So let's live.
Do you know what? What a perfect like final words. Smash that. Didn't even think I was gonna ask you for your final words, but literally, and then he did the thing. So the only thing I will ask you, not force you, because again, I'm the kinder of the two of us, to do
Go.
is tell us when the podcast episodes come out, please, and where we can listen to them.
Amazing. So the podcast comes out every Friday. It
Mhm.
comes out on Spotify and it comes out on Apple Podcasts and it will be coming out on YouTube before the end of the year. So take a look at
Mhm.
that. Tune in. Let me know how you feel about it. Listen to Kim's episode, which is in season 2, which is amazing, by the way. So influential and so, you know,
Stop it! You're gonna make me eye roll. I need to stop
so
doing that.
so insightful. And someone who actually really gives a damn about what she does, like wholeheartedly, and her clients wholeheartedly, and has a thirst for not just knowledge, but for therapists to really like envelop and contribute in larger scales than we actually do at present. So, yeah,
He speaks very well of me. Thank you, my
of
darling. I
course,
appreciate it.
of
But
course.
no, it's been phenomenal having you. Obviously, again, like I couldn't have chosen a better fast person because this to me is nerve-wracking, and
You did great,
you
which you
bring
always do,
you bring me calm.
which is crazy because you always say, Calvin, I'm nervous. I'm like, watch her in about 5 minutes, just be chill, which you did. So,
Listen, I did performing arts at school. It's called unseen. Thank you. Can you tell? Can you tell I did drama?
no, you definitely did drama. I can see the creative. I can see the, you know, the stellar performance. So yeah,
Oh, behave. I can't with you. But no, I appreciate your time.
of
As
course.
you said, all episodes for the podcast come out on a Friday. We're currently up to season 2,
Yup.
which will be finished at the end of this month.
Yep. Season 2. So yeah. Thank you guys. It's been an honor. Please tune in. Listen, please, I don't know, either email this woman or when this video is out, write something in the comment section and tell her she needs to do some sort of podcast or something. Because to be fair, if you look at her reels, she kind of does it anyway. So I don't know, guys. I don't know.
And I'm going to end it there. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. And you know that anyway.
Anytime. Anytime.
Toodaloo.